Number 1. Supreme Court in Rohit Sharma vs. State of Punjab and others. The court granted bail due to prolonged custody and trial delay, balancing NDPS trigger with Article 21 rights. Number 2. Delhi High Court in ABC Private Limited vs. XYZ e-commerce platform. The court restrained use of similar online and directed removal of infringing listings to protect brand rights. Number 3. Madras High Court in R. Kannan vs. Greater Chennai Corporation and others. The court upheld demolition of illegal construction but mandated strict compliance with due process and notice requirements. Number 4. Bombay High Court in Nitin Deshmukh vs. State of Maharashtra. The court held arrest without following Section 41A CRPC safeguards illegal, reinforcing protection of personal liberty. Number 5. Kerala High Court in Aisha Rahman vs. State of Kerala and others. The court directed authorities to ensure no student is denied education due to administrative lapse, affirming constitutional rights. Number 1. Supreme Court in Union of India vs. R.K. Sharma and others. The court held promotion can't be denied arbitrarily if eligibility is met, emphasizing fairness and equality under Article 14. Number 2. Delhi High Court in Pooja Gupta vs. Meta Platforms. The court directed prompt removal of unlawful content, holding intermediaries laws safe harbor if due diligence is not followed. Number 3. Madras High Court in K. Subramanian vs. State of Tamil Nadu. The court held pension is not a vested right, directing release of withheld benefits with interest for unjustified delay. Number 4. Bombay High Court in Amit Joshi vs. State of Maharashtra and others. The court granted anticipatory bail, causing against misuse of criminal law in matrimonial dispute. Number 5. Kerala High Court in Sham Nair vs. State of Kerala and others. The court held free speech can't be curtailed merely due to dissent, directing balance with public order under Article 19. Number 1. Supreme Court in Ajay Kumar vs. Central Bureau of Investigation. The court granted bail due to prolonged custody and slow trial, holding continued detention violates Article 21. Number 2. Delhi High Court in Technova Private Limited vs. Technova Solutions. The court granted interim injunction against similar trademark use, citing risk of consumer confusion and brand dilution. Number 3. Bombay High Court in Vikas Patil vs. State of Maharashtra. The court refused to quash proceedings, holding prima facie offences exist and issue must be decided at trial. Number 4. Karnataka High Court in Manoj Kumar vs. State of Karnataka and others. The court set aside indefinite suspension, directing reinstatement review as delay violates service fairness principles. Number 5. Allahabad High Court in Rahul and others vs. State of Uttar Pradesh. The court granted protection to consenting adults, affirming their right to choose partners under Article 21. Number 1. Supreme Court in State of Rajasthan vs. Mohanlal. The court refused to condone delay, holding the state must strictly follow limitation law without special leniency. Number 2. Delhi High Court in Global Enterprises Private Limited vs. Silverline Industries. The court enforced the settlement, holding parties are bound by agreed terms and breach undermines judicial process. Number 3. Madras High Court in Parents Association vs. State of Tamil Nadu and others. The court upheld free regulation, stating education is not commercial and must remain affordable. Number 4. Bombay High Court in Neha Sharma vs. State of Maharashtra. The court quashed FIR after settlement, holding continuation worldwide abuse of process in personal disputes. Number 5. Karnataka High Court in Basavaraj vs. State of Karnataka. The court ordered reassessment of compensation, emphasizing fair and transparent valuation for landowners. Kolkata High Court in People's Union for Civil Liberties vs. State of West Bengal. The court stressed fair and unbiased electoral roll verification, holding free and fair elections are part of the constitution's basic structure. Number 2. Punjab and Haryana High Court in Gurpreet Singh vs. State of Punjab. The court transferred the probe to an independent agency, holding fair investigation is integral to Article 21 rights. Number 3. Rajasthan High Court in Imtiaz Khan vs. State of Rajasthan. The court awarded compensation, holding unlawful police detention violates fundamental rights and due process. Number 4. Gujarat High Court in Muhammad Arif vs. State of Gujarat. The court upheld restrictions stating Article 25 rights are subject to public order, morality and health. Number 5. Himachal Pradesh High Court in Green Valley Residents Association versus State of Himachal Pradesh. The court ordered strict action against illegal construction, emphasizing sustainable development and environmental duty. Number 1. Kolkata High Court in Amirban Chatterjee versus State of West Bengal. The court set aside disciplinary action for lack of hearing, holding it violates natural justice and Article 14. Number 2. Punjab and Haryana High Court in Harpreet Kaur versus State of Punjab. The court quashed the FIR after settlement, holding continuation of proceedings would be abuse of process. Number 3. Gujarat High Court in Javed Khan versus State of Gujarat and others. The court quashed the detention of order for non-application of mind, stressing strict safeguards under Article 21. Number 4. Rajasthan High Court in Suresh Kumar versus National Insurance Company Limited. The court enhanced compensation, directing a just and reasonable assessment of income and future prospects. Number 5. Himachal Pradesh High Court in Environment Protection Society versus State of Himachal Pradesh. The court ordered strict action against illegal mining, emphasizing environmental protection and sustainable development. Number 1. Supreme Court in Deepak Singh versus State of Uttar Pradesh. The court granted bail due to prolonged custody, holding delay in trial violates Article 21, despite NDPS seriousness. Number 2. Delhi High Court in Amitabh Bachchan versus Rajat Negi. The court restrained unauthorized use of identity, affirming personality rights as part of reputation and privacy. Number 3. Madras High Court in M. Selvam versus State of Tamil Nadu and others. The court directed equal temple access, holding discrimination violates constitutional guarantees of equality and dignity. Number 4. Bombay High Court in Samir Khan versus State of Maharashtra. The court held arrest without due procedure is illegal, stressing compliance with Section 41A CRPC safeguards. Number 5. Punjab and Haryana High Court in Simran and others versus State of Haryana. The court granted protection to consenting adults, affirming their right to live together under Article 21. Number 1. Supreme Court in Ravi Prakash versus State of Bihar. The court granted anticipatory bail, holding custodial interrogation unnecessary and balancing liberty with investigation needs. Number 2. Kolkata High Court in Sanjeev Das versus State of West Bengal. The court set aside termination for lack of inquiry, ordering reinstatement and uphold natural justice. Number 3. Gujarat High Court in Imran Sheikh versus State of Gujarat. The court quashed detention for lack of proper justification, stressing strict safeguard under Article 21. Number 4. Kerala High Court in Nisha Thomas versus State of Kerala. The court directed authorities to ensure no denial of admission due to procedural lapse, ensuring fair access to education. Number 5. Rajasthan High Court in Mahendra Singh versus United Indian Insurance Company Limited. The court enhanced compensation, emphasizing consideration of future prospects and a victim-centric approach. Number 1. Supreme Court in Manish Gupta versus Directorate of Enforcement. The court granted bail citing delay in trial, balancing PMLA seriousness with Article 21 liberty and imposing strict conditions. Number 2. Delhi High Court in X versus Union of India. The court ordered removal of outdated personal data, recognizing the right to be forgotten under Article 21 privacy rights. Number 3. Bombay High Court in Rajesh Saha versus State of Maharashtra. The court quashed the FIR holding criminal law was misused to pursue in a civil dispute. Number 4. Madras High Court in Tamil Nadu Student Union versus State of Tamil Nadu. The court upheld peaceful protest as a fundamental right under Article 19, subject to reasonable restrictions. Number 5. Punjab and Haryana High Court in Amanpreet Singh and others versus State of Punjab. The court granted protection, affirming adults' rights to marry and live together under Article 21. Number 1. Supreme Court in Sanjay Agarwal versus Directorate of Enforcement. The court denied bail, holding serious economic offences, required strict certainty and custodial interrogation may be necessary. Number 2. Delhi High Court in Ritika Khanna versus Meta Platforms. The court directed removal of objectionable content, holding intermediaries must act promptly or lose safe harbor protection. Number 3. Bombay High Court in Vijay Patil vs. State of Maharashtra. The court set aside disciplinary action for lack of hearing, holding it violates Article 14 and principles of natural justice. Number 4. Madras High Court in K. Dinesh vs. Greater Chennai Corporation. The court upheld demolition of illegal construction but mandated strict adherence to notice and hearing procedures. Number 5. The Calcutta High Court in Rahim Ali vs. State of West Bengal. The court quashed detention for lack of necessity, stressing strict compliance with Article 21 safeguards.
In the case of Raghavendra H.M. versus State of Karnataka, the Karnataka High Court stated that police cannot investigate juveniles in petty offences punishable up to 3 years. Case transferred to Juvenile Police Unit for fresh probe. In the case of Century 21 Real Estate LLC versus Century 21 Town Planners Private Limited, the Bombay High Court said that the use of a mark includes ads and market presence, not just sales. Court protected prior global rights and ordered removal of C21 marks. In the case of Bashir Ahmed and others versus State of Uttar Pradesh, the Allahabad High Court stated that non-examination of all FIR witnesses doesn't weaken prosecution. Conviction upheld based on consistent eyewitnesses and medical evidence. In the case of Harish Rana versus Union of India, the Supreme Court of India said that withdrawal of life support allowed for a vegetative patient. Court applied best interest principle permitting passive euthanasia. In the case of Anurag Krishna Sinha versus State of Bihar, the Supreme Court of India said that Bihar law taking over Sinha library struck down as arbitrary. Vesting trust property in state without safeguards violated Articles 14 and 300A. Thank you. In the case of Rachana Gangu versus Union of India, Supreme Court of India stated that Centre directed to frame a no-fault compensation policy for COVID-19 vaccine adverse events due to lack of a structured mechanism. Court clarified causation must be scientifically assessed, not presumed from post-vaccination ill health or death. In the case of United India Insurance Company Limited versus Lakshmi Kumari and others, Delhi High Court said that MLC timing is not conclusive proof of accident timing when other evidence suggests otherwise. MACT award upheld, insurers appeal dismissed, affirming negligence of parked truck driver. In the case of Abhishek Sharma and others versus State of Jammu and Kashmir, the Supreme Court of India said that denial of regularization to academic arrangement paramedical staff held unconstitutional under Articles 14 and 16. State directed to consider regularization, reiterating its duty as a model employer. In the case of Super Cassettes Industries Private Limited versus Reliance Entertainment Studios Private Limited, the Delhi High Court said that Reliance Entertainment and directors held guilty of contempt for non-compliance with payment orders. Court ordered deposit with interest, warning of imprisonment upon failure. In the case of Union of India versus Rohit Nathan, the Supreme Court of India said that creamy layer status for OBCs cannot be based on income alone. Authorities must consider social status and parental service position as per 1993 guidelines. Thank you. The first case is Smriti Vagdare versus Joint Director DGGI. In this case, the Bombay High Court said that Section 67 Clause 2 of CGST Act does not permit seizure of cash without valid reason to believe. Court quashed ₹1 crore seizure and ordered its release. In the case of Tapi Valley Agro Food Products Company versus Dondaicha Barwade Nagar Parishad, Bombay High Court said that pending appeal without stay does not render a civil decree unenforceable. Authorities directed to issue NOC as decree remains binding until stayed or set aside. In the case of Muddam Raju Yadav versus B. Rajashankar, Supreme Court of India said that specific performance can be denied where plaintiff lacks bona fides or suppresses material facts. Relief refused due to concealment of key document showing absence of clean hands. In the case of Tejas alias Dada Mahipati Dalvi versus State of Maharashtra, Bombay High Court said that non-examination of scientific experts on CA-DNA reports violates fair trial. Death sentence set aside, matter remanded for fresh consideration. In the case of Veli Nakshatram versus State of Kerala, the Kerala High Court said that redisplaying defamatory content can still amount to defamation. Prior publication elsewhere does not absolve criminal liability. Thank you. In the case of Jagram and another was a state of UP, the Allahabad High Court laid that criminal conviction cannot be based on mere suspicion. If two views are possible, the one favoring the accused must prevail. Court acquitted the accused by granting benefit of doubt due to inconsistencies and lack of reliable evidence. In the case of N.K. Prasannan versus State of Kerala, the Kerala High Court said that magistrate under the Domestic Violence Act has power not to pass injunction orders but also to vacate or modify them if they cause prejudice. Court set aside the injunction and granted relief to bona fide purchasers affected by the order. In the case of S.G. Jamaluddin vs. State of Karnataka, Supreme Court of India said that invoking Article 142, Court ended a 20-year dispute over KPSC recruitment by allowing existing appointees to continue and directing appointment of 16 candidates. Appointment granted without back wages or seniority to bring finally to long pending litigation. In the case of Baladev Paul vs. State of West Bengal, the Calcutta High Court said that conviction and death sentence set aside due to gaping holes in prosecution case, unreliable interested witnesses, and serious investigative lapses. Court held guilt not proved beyond reasonable doubt and ordered acquittal of the accused. In the case of Rajendra Kumar vs. State of Uttar Pradesh, the Allahabad High Court said that the conviction under sections 332 and 333 IPC set aside as prosecution failed to prove that traffic inspectors were lawfully discharging official duty. Court held absence of proof of authorization defeats essential ingredients. Accused acquitted. Thank you. In the case of Mudassir Ahmad Bhatt versus Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court said that preventive detention order quashed citing glaring errors, non-application of mine, and casual approach by authorities. Court held detention violated constitutional safeguards and termed it painful and pinching to constitutional sensitivity. In the case of T. Harish vs. Santosh Kumar DS, the Karnataka High Court said that loss of future earnings in MACT claims must be assessed based on impact of disability on earning capacity, not mere percentage of physical disability. Court enhanced compensation holding tribunal erred in mechanically applying reduced disability percentage. In the case of Jyoti Rani alias Jyoti Malhotra versus State of Haryana, the Punjab and Haryana High Court said that bail denied is a personage case, holding conduct raised presumption of involvement under Official Secrets Act with prima facie evidence. Court cited gravity of anti-national allegations and rejected bail considering seriousness of offence. In the case of Koshi Abraham versus Shaji, the Kerala High Court said that Section 73 CPC ensures relatable distribution only among unsecured degree holders and does not override priority of secured claims like mortgage or charge. Court upheld auction sale, holding secured degree holder has precedence and no material irregularity was proved. In the case of Additional Commissioner of Central Tax and others versus Mrs. Vigneshwara Transport Company, the Karnataka High Court said that material form another commissionerate can be relied upon for Section 74 CGST proceedings. Evidence isn't invalid merely due to alleged irregular search. Court restored show cause notice and allowed use of such material subject to relevance and natural justice. Thank you. In the case of Mahesh versus State of Karnataka and others, the Karnataka High Court stressed need for interstate police coordination and a national database for effective tracing of missed persons, especially women and children. Directed proper implementation of district missing persons units to ensure active investigation and monitoring of such cases. In the case of Sanjay Gupta and another versus Prem Kumar, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court said that defamation under Section 499 RPC is attracted even without intent if the accused has knowledge or reason to believe the imputation would harm reputation. Court quashed proceedings against newspaper owner but allowed defamation case to continue against editor. In the case of Kuldeep Singh and another versus State of Punjab and another, the Supreme Court said that the court cancelled anticipatory bail, holding that attempts at reconciliation cannot bar police from taking cognizance as prima facie evidence of caste-based violence and firearm use existed. In the case of Raj Bahadur Singh versus State of Uttarakhand, the Supreme Court said that Supreme Court upheld the excise constable's conviction for corruption under Section 7 and 13 Clause 2 PC Act, but reduced this sentence due to old age and time already served. Thank you. In the case of the Director versus Srinivasan, the Madras High Court held that conviction under Section 138 of the NI Act does not amount to a serious criminal offence and pension of a retired employee cannot be withheld under Rule 8B of Tamil Nadu Pension Rules. In a matrimonial case, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court held that a private agreement between spouses cannot dissolve a statutory Hindu marriage unless backed by a decree under the Hindu Marriage Act or a recognized custom, though such agreements may be relevant in assessing separation for maintenance claims under Section 488 CRPC. In the case of In Hope of Glory Ministry Trust versus State of Maharashtra, the Bombay High Court allowed the trust to conduct the Maharashtra Prayer Festival, holding that abrupt cancellation violated fundamental rights and directed the trust to give an undertaking to comply with the Black Magic Act. In the case of Muhammad Yaqub Beg versus Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court held that once an accused admits depositions recorded under Section 299 CRPC, the prosecution cannot recall witnesses and granted the petitioner 45-day temporary bail on medical grounds. In the case of Shailendra Bankar Bihari Singh versus State of Maharashtra, the Bombay High Court said that the court quashed an FIR under the SC/ST Act, holding that caste-based abuse inside a cow shed does not constitute a place within public view. Thank you. In the case of Jaswant Singh Uday Singh Chauhan versus State of Maharashtra, the Bombay High Court held that the discovery of a weapon at the instance of an accused under Section 27 of the Indian Evidence Act cannot be discarded merely for lack of detailed disclosure in the statement. The essential requirement is that the accused voluntarily provided information leading to the discovery of the relevant fact. In the case of Sri Chetan versus the Karnataka Power Transmission Corporation Limited, the Karnataka High Court held that transfer and posting requests of Group B and C employees should not be entertained by the Chief Minister's office and must end at the departmental level. The court emphasized that the Chief Minister has more important functions than intervening in routine personal matters of state government employees and undertakings. In the case of Sundar Rao versus Union of India and connected cases, the Madras High Court held that when accused persons raise the plea of non-furnishing of grounds of arrest only in subsequent bail applications and not at the earliest stage, it indicates that they were not prejudiced in effectively defending their case. In the case of Charan Preet Singh versus Municipal Corporation, Chandigarh and others, the Supreme Court directed the Chandigarh Municipal Corporation to accommodate two candidates for the post of law officer by creating a supernumerary post. In the case of Sharla Basil versus Baldev Thakur and others, the Supreme Court held that an FIR alleging forgery cannot be quashed prematurely when the disputed documents have already been sent for handwriting examination. Thank you. In the case of Subhash Mahadu Mahajan versus State of Maharashtra, the Bombay High Court held that under Section 20A1 NDPS Act, mere recovery of cannabis from jointly owned land is insufficient. The prosecution must prove the accused actively cultivated or nurtured the plants. The conviction was set aside. In the case of Elvish Yadav alias Siddharth versus State of UP, the Supreme Court quashed criminal case against YouTuber Elvish Yadav over snake venom and rape party allegations. No prohibited substances were recovered from him, and the charge relied on indirect statements. Proceedings under the Wildlife Protection Act were invalid without a mandatory private complaint. Authorities may file fresh proceedings following proper procedure. In the case, the management of Steel Authority of India Limited versus Shambhu Prasad Singh and others, the Supreme Court held that directing a refund of gratuity with interest without ensuring vacation of staff quarters and adjustment of dues under applicable rules is illegal. In Athira and another versus the United India Insurance Company Limited, the Kerala High Court held that functional disability can be assessed at 100% for intellectual impairment caused by a motor accident, even if medical permanent disability is lower when the injured cannot lead an independent life. Thank you. 1. Bombay High Court. In Mr. Ravi versus Mr. Avinash Shinde, the court held that a compromise between parties in a Section 138 NI Act case must be given effect even after conviction. 2. Supreme Court in Virinder Pal Singh versus Punjab and Sindh Bank and others, the court held that disciplinary proceedings initiated before retirement can continue and conclude post-retirement if permitted by the applicable service rules, including imposition of penalties affecting retirement benefits. 3. Bombay High Court in Sunil Vaman Bide versus Chandrahas Lakshman Kanhare and others, the court held that a caveator disputing the testator's title of property lacks caveatable interest. 4. Delhi High Court in a family case, the court dismissed the petition of a CRPF officer who voluntarily retired to challenge a family court's maintenance order for his wife and children. 5. Kerala High Court in State of Kerala versus Anwar and others, the court cancelled the bail of 8 accused in the Walayar mob lynching case involving the murder of Ram Narayan Bhagel. Thank you. 1. The Supreme Court in Chennai Metropolitan Development Authority versus Dharmalingam and others held that Section 48B does not give landowners a right to reclaim acquired land. It is only a discretionary power of the state. Once land was for public purpose, reconveyance cannot be demanded as a right. 2. Supreme Court in Naveen Solanki and another versus Rail Land Development Authority and others said that land in a statutory master plan cannot later be treated as deemed forest. Subsequent tree growth doesn't change land use status. Urban planning certainty must be protected. 3. Supreme Court in the state of Bihar versus Sudha Singh said that confiscation proceedings don't end with the death of public servant. Property in spouse name can still be examined. Law prevents misuse of death to escape confiscation. 4. Allahabad High Court said that death of fetus due to accident is an independent accident. Separate compensation can be granted. Expands scope of accident claims law. 5. Delhi High Court in Habibur Mullah alias Sonu versus State of Delhi said that failure to give written grounds of arrest violates constitutional rights. Procedural lapse makes arrest illegal. Bail granted on violation of Articles 21 and 22. Thank you. 1. Allahabad High Court in Magguram versus State of UP said that authorities under the Senior Citizens Act cannot decide ownership or possession disputes of property. The Act is meant for protection and welfare, not just title adjudication. Property disputes must be decided by competent civil courts. 2. Madras High Court in R. Vembu versus State of Tamil Nadu said that preventive detention cannot replace ordinary criminal prosecution. If regular criminal law is sufficient, detention laws should not be invoked. The court cautioned against misuse of preventive detention powers. 3. Allahabad High Court in Paras Ram and others versus Ram Charita and others said that mixed questions of law and fact cannot be decided as preliminary issues. Maintainability objections must be raised at the earliest stage. Courts should avoid delaying trials through belated technical pleas. 4. Delhi High Court in Wasim Akhtar versus State said that friendly relations or meeting on Valentine's Day do not imply consent. The court refused bail in a sexual assault case. Consent must be clear, voluntary, and unequivocal. 5. Gujarat High Court in family dispute said that a wife's earning alone is not a ground to deny maintenance. The husband's obligation to maintain continues despite her income. Maintenance must reflect status and financial capacity of the parties. Thank you. First, Supreme Court in Patali Makkal Kachi versus Election Commission of India and others said that it dismissed PM case pleas seeking directions to use the mango symbol in Tamil Nadu elections. The court upheld the Madras High Court's order and clarified that symbol disputes involving unregistered parties cannot be adjudicated by the Election Commission in such manner. PMK was granted liberty to approach the competent civil court for appropriate relief. 2. Supreme Court in Kolkata Metro Development Issue case pulled up the West Bengal government for politicizing a developmental issue relating to the Kolkata Metro project. The court observed that public infrastructure projects beneficial to common citizens should not be obstructed for political reasons. It directed monitoring to ensure smooth execution of the project. 3. Allahabad High Court in Lalsa Devi versus State of UP held that denial of welfare scheme benefits due to administrative delay is unjustified. It directed reconsideration of the petitioner's claim under the issuance of scheme. The court emphasized that procedural lapses should not defeat substantive entitlements. 4. Karnataka High Court in a matrimonial case quashed criminal proceedings for bigamy under Section 494 IPC. It ruled that a live-in relationship does not amount to a valid second marriage in the absence of proof of essential marriage ceremonies. Criminal prosecution based solely on cohabitation was held unsustainable. 5. Kerala High Court in Kerala Social Scrutiny Mission case set aside an internal complaints committee report in a workplace harassment case. It directed a fresh inquiry in accordance with Rule 7 of the POSH rules. The court stressed strict compliance with procedural safeguards in sexual harassment proceedings. Thank you. 1. Supreme Court in Chintada Anand versus State of Andhra Pradesh held that a person who has converted to Christianity cannot retain scheduled caste status for protection under the SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act once he openly professes the new faith. Under Clause 3 of the Constitution, Scheduled Caste Order 1950, only persons professing Hinduism, Sikhism, or Buddhism are recognized as scheduled castes. The court dismissed the pastor's appeal and upheld the High Court's order. 2. Supreme Court in Messrs. ABS Marine Services versus the Andaman and Nicobar Administration, the Supreme Court held that the one party cannot unilaterally decide breach of contract when liability is disputed. Contract clauses that attempt to bar both judicial remedies and arbitration are legally untenable and create a vacuum in rights. The court reaffirmed the principle ubi jus ibi remedium, where there is a right, there must be a remedy. 3. Supreme Court in state of Karnataka and others versus Santosh Kumar, the Supreme Court held that in recruitments governed by statutory rules, a vacancy caused by non-joining cannot automatically travel down the merit list. A select list substitute right only arises if the governing rules specifically permit it. The bench held that mere non-joining does not create a legal claim to appointment. 4. Supreme Court issues notice in pleas seeking cancellation of bails granted in Manipur ethnic violence and gang rape case. The Supreme Court issued notice on CBI pleas challenging the Guwahati High Court's grant of bail to accused persons in the Manipur ethnic violence and gang rape case. The bench led by Chief Justice Suryakant directed appointment of legal aid counsel for victims and is now considering whether bail should be cancelled. 5. Andhra Pradesh High Court in Kodur Picheshwara Rao versus Union of India and others held that tax authorities acting on tax evasion petition cannot be accused of malice if they follow due statutory procedure under the Income Tax Act 1961. Mere allegations of bad faith or colorable exercise of power do not negate lawful action where procedures, approvals, and authorizations are followed. Thank you. 1. The Supreme Court in sexual offence case reiterated that the mandate under Section 228A of the IPC prohibiting disclosure of the identity of sexual offence victims must be strictly followed. The court emphasized that protection of a victim's identity is a statutory obligation and not a matter of discretion. It directed strict adherence by courts, investigating agencies, and media to safeguard the dignity and privacy of victims. 2. The Supreme Court in Srimati Pooja versus Union of India and others declined a plea seeking transfer of investigation in the Uttam Nagar death case to the CBI. The court observed that transfer to CBI is warranted only in rare and exceptional circumstances where investigation lacks credibility. Finding no such extraordinary grounds, it allowed the regular investigation to proceed. 3. Chhattisgarh High Court upheld reliance on the testimony of a deaf and mute victim, noting that effective interpretation and demonstration made the evidence clear and intelligible. The court held that disability does not diminish the evidentiary value of testimony when properly recorded. It reaffirmed that courts must adopt inclusive approaches to ensure justice. 4. The Supreme Court in Rajesh Kumar versus State of Uttar Pradesh clarified that mere non-traceability of a document in official records does not automatically render it forged. For an offence of forgery under Section 464 IPC, statutory ingredients must be strictly established. The court stressed that allegations of forgery require careful examination of evidence before drawing conclusions. 5. Supreme Court in Bar Association versus Union of India issued notice in a petition seeking creation of a dedicated welfare fund and special welfare stamp for members of the Supreme Court Bar Association. The plea concerns institutional support and financial security measures for advocates. The matter was directed to be listed for further hearing. Thank you. 1. Supreme Court in a matrimonial case quashed a vague and belated dowry prosecution against in-laws, holding that citizens must not dawdle on asserting their rights, and unexplained delay of nearly 7 years in prosecution can be fatal to the state's case. The court observed that in matrimonial disputes, delayed FIRs often weaken the evidentiary value of allegations. The judgment reinforces that unexplained inordinate delays can lead to quashing of criminal proceedings. 2. Supreme Courts in Andanaya and others versus Deputy Chief Engineer and others held that a second application under Section 28A of the Land Acquisition Act 1894 is maintainable if the compensation redetermination is based on an appellate court award. It explained that once an appellate court gives an award, the earlier award merges into it under the doctrine of merger. This ensures parity and fair compensation in land acquisition matters. 3. Supreme Court in Rajesh Goyal versus Ms. Lakshmi Construction and others ruled that an authority acting under a special statute cannot unsettle a concluded adjudication by relying on findings recorded in another administrative capacity. The bench held that when jurisdiction is limited, dual rules cannot be used to revisit final orders, especially in landlord-tenant disputes where eviction orders had attained finality. 4. Supreme Court in Sandeep Yadav versus Satish held that a mere technical defect in the charge does not justify ordering a retrial if no prejudice is caused to the accused. The bench observed that the trial had progressed substantially over 14 years with multiple witnesses examined and the accused actively participating. Therefore, procedural glitches alone cannot derail a mature trial. 5. Supreme Court in Mrs. Stake Energy Services India Limited versus GSPC Pipavav Power Company Limited and others reiterated that judicial review cannot be used to preempt executive decisions in technical tender matters. The bench held that courts must exercise restraint and should not interfere with commercial and technical judgments unless there is patent illegality, especially where differences between bidders are minimal. Thank you. 1. Allahabad High Court in a live-in relationship case of Uttar Pradesh held that no offense is made out if a married man and an adult woman live together in a consensual live-in relationship. It observed that morality and law must be kept separate and where both adults consent, no criminal liability arises in such cohabitation. The court granted interim protection to the couple and directed authorities to ensure their safety, noting threats of honor killing. 2. Bombay High Court in 63 Moons Technologies Limited versus Union of India held that a NCLT settlement scheme cannot be used to dilute or extinguish criminal prosecution against accused persons. It clarified that civil settlement or arrangement does not affect ongoing criminal charges, which must proceed independently. The court reiterated that releasing attached assets for compensation to victims does not impact criminal liability. 3. Madhya Pradesh High Court in Shamashil Mishra versus State of Madhya Pradesh ruled that university professors, including associate professors, are employees and not public officers for the purpose of a quo warranto petition. Since they do not discharge sovereign functions, a writ of quo warranto is not maintainable against them. The bench clarified that the teacher-student relationship is purely employer-employee under the Madhya Pradesh Vishwavidyalaya Adhinayam 1973. 4. Jharkhand High Court in the state of Jharkhand and others versus Brajeshwar Singh held that deduction or reduction of pension for grave misconduct cannot be based on a single instance of irregularity. Pension reduction under the Jharkhand Pension Rules 2000 require overall unsatisfactory service or proven grave misconduct after proper departmental or judicial proceedings. Isolated irregularities are insufficient to affect pension rights. 5. Allahabad High Court in Reverend Father Vineet Vincent Pereira versus State of UP dismissed an application to quash charges under Section 295A IPC against a Christian priest who claimed Christianity as the only true religion at a prayer meeting. The court held that asserting superiority of one religion that disparages others falls within Section 295A, deliberate insult to religion, and is not immune from prosecution. Thank you. 1. Supreme Court in Mohammad Sagir versus Nagar Nigam, Kanpur, held that when a workman has been engaged for a substantially long period, there is a presumption of an existing vacancy in employment. The court restored the reinstatement of switchmen whose services had been orally terminated after 13 years. It emphasized that long-term engagement cannot be ignored in employment rights. 2. Madras High Court in a matrimonial dispute granted divorce to a husband finding that the wife lived separately, neglected the children and instituted criminal proceedings with grave allegations against him and his family. The court held this conduct constituted cruelty under the Family Courts Act. Divorce was awarded on these established grounds. 3. Karnataka High Court in another matrimonial case quashed proceedings under Section 498A IPC, Section 506 IPC read with Section 34 IPC and the Dowry Prohibition Act. It found that the domestic discord and minor disagreements alleged did not meet the statutory threshold of cruelty and dowry demand. Generalized and omnibus allegations without specific particulars were insufficient to sustain charges. 4. Bombay High Court in Dheeraj Dreams Building Number 1 CHS Limited and others versus Divisional Joint Registrar Cooperative Societies and others held that a refuge area cannot be treated as a flat for purposes of membership in a cooperative housing society under the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960. It ruled that such spaces are not equivalent to flats and admitting members based on them would violate statutory membership limits. 5. Karnataka High Court in Ashay Lalka versus State of Karnataka and another held that digital assets such as data and code are property of a company in the modern age and cannot be claimed by a shareholder to negate misappropriation allegations. The court recognized digital and intellectual assets as part of corporate property. Thank you. 1. The Kerala High Court in Arun Kumar P versus State of Kerala denied bail in an NDPS case, holding that specifying the quantity seized as intermediate or commercial quantity in arrest grounds is sufficient even without exact figures under sections 47 and 48 of PNSS. This satisfies the constitutional requirement for grounds of arrest, so the arrest was held lawful. Consequently, the bail plea was dismissed. 2. Kerala High Court in Raisa Epen was a state of Kerala and others ruled that an appellant under the Right to Information Act 2005 has no inherent right to be heard in penalty proceedings under Section 20 against the SPIO. Penalty proceedings are essentially between the Information Commission and the SPIO unless the Commission permits participation. Therefore, the petitioner's plea for participatory rights was rejected. Kerala High Court in Bharati Amma versus State of Kerala held that land validly acquired by the state cannot be reconveyed back to the original owner merely because the intended project did not materialize even after decades. The petitioner had accepted compensation and not challenged acquisition earlier, so reopening the issue was impermissible. The writ appeal was dismissed. 4. The Madras High Court in C. Selvakumar versus the Chief Election Commissioner and others criticized a PIL in a custodial death case, terming it a publicly interest litigation and expressed anguish that the dead body of the victim was being used as a means of protest, infringing dignity and rights. It found no merit in the petition seeking arrest under the SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act, and the matter was dismissed while directing respect of her rights and burial dignity. 5. Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court in Sefran Bashir Nadab versus Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and others quashed a PSA detention order against a 19-year-old holding that personal liberty under Article 21 cannot be sacrificed on vague and unsubstantiated material. Preventive detention must be based on credible and specific grounds. Mere suspicion is insufficient, hence the detention was set aside. Thank you. The Allahabad High Court in a matrimonial case held that although wives sometimes exaggerate husband's income in maintenance proceedings under Section 125 CRPC, which is now Section 144 BNSS, such exaggeration does not automatically warrant action under Section 340 CRPC against the claimant. The court observed that Section 340 is for frivolous or vexatious prosecutions and should not be triggered by typical maintenance claims patterns. It dismissed the husband's appeal against the family court order. 2. Bombay High Court in Rameshwar, son of Mahadev Rao Survey versus State of Maharashtra and others held that while Section 47 of the Persons with Disabilities Act protect the employment of a disabled employee by placing them in a suitable position, it cannot alter or disturb the existing seniority structure of the cadre. Protection of employment must be balanced with service conditions and seniority rights of others. This ensures disability benefits without disrupting the legitimate career progression of other employees. 3. Kerala High Court in Damodaran K versus State of Kerala held that house trespass is an offence against possession, and even a true owner cannot unlawfully enter premises where another person has lawful possession with intent to commit an offence. It affirmed the conviction but reduced the sentence of the owner accused, underscoring that title alone cannot justify invading another's lawful possession. 4. Calcutta High Court in the case of Boren Mandal versus State of West Bengal, it acquitted a husband in a 2002 dowry death case, holding that conviction cannot rest solely on parental statements without independent corroboration. It emphasized that the testimony of in-laws must be supported by reliable evidence to sustain a conviction. The conviction was set aside due to lack of credible corroborative proof. 5. The Delhi Police and another versus Sudhir Kumar case. The Delhi High Court interpreted the 2019 amendment to the Motor Vehicles Act to clarify that the former 30-day automatic extension period for expired licenses has been removed. It emphasized that license holders must renew their licenses before expiry to avoid penalties, marking a shift in regulatory compliance under the amended law. Thank you. 1. Rajasthan High Court in Ganga Kumari versus State of Rajasthan and others held that Transgender Amendment Bill 2026 may dilute self-identified gender by requiring self-state certification. Selfhood is a constitutional right, not a state-granted entitlement. 2. Rajasthan High Court in Ravi Meena versus Pushpendra Singh Rathod and others held that WhatsApp or electronic service of notice under Section 41A of CRPC is invalid. Violation of arrest safeguards may attract contempt against police. 3. Madras High Court in Sundaram versus State by the Inspector of Police held that failure to prove foundational facts bars presumption under Section 29 POCSO Act. Conviction set aside due to weak evidence and inconsistencies. 4. Allahabad High Court held that Muslim personal law does not bar jurisdiction under Guardians and Wards Act. Child's welfare is paramount. Custody must be decided by family court. 5. Delhi High Court in Abu Bakr E versus National Investigation Agency and another held that transfer to private hospital denied. All India Institute of Medical Sciences found it adequate for treatment. One-time physical exam allowed at Apollo for second opinion. Treatment to continue at AIMS. Thank you.